5 seconds remaining. Navi's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Navi's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Much like you at home, we are ready and prepared here for game number 3 between Navi and Yellow Submarine. The third draft is just about to begin, and my panel here are super excited to show you guys how this CIS showdown will end up. Will it be Navi? Will it be Yellow Submarine? We'll have to wait after the draft to see. Lads, welcome back here. Dan QO. Game number 3 draft is coming in hot and heavy. Talked about this basically, you know, ad nauseum right now. The drafts mean a lot, and especially in this series.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Navi this time around have the second pick overall, so they're going to have the last pick of the entire draft, which is always really handy to have, especially for someone like Iceberg. Again, I think it goes back to the draft at the very beginning, like the bans phase, the first, because it felt like if Yellow Sub are able to get to the late game, they have confidence in themselves to be able to outcarry anyone. So it's about blocking through these picks that are able to run over them. Juggernauts, your lifestealers, things of that nature, and Navi are probably going to look to do the opposite. They want to get rid of things that enable you to farm into the late game, or are just inherently good, like the Spectre, the Faceless Void, the Magnet.
I wondered what they're going to be doing for the lifestealer. Just because I think Breachion's hero pool are all like a PL, not Terrorblade, Morphling, these sort of like a late game, and that's why like I was expecting that Collapse will do like
just
do against it, but do well against it. But I don't know, that like lifestealer performance like last game, I think that was really good. Maybe he realized in this series he can just pick all this lane dominating hero, Monkey King, Ulsa, Chaos Knight.
Okay, they're going to go for the Bloodseeker once again. That was going to be my question for you, Kyo, was whether or not you feel like Yellow Submarine and Collapse specifically was going to move away from this Bloodseeker. This is the first time we've seen it picked up for this tournament as well. It's an elimination series, so it's going to have to work out for them.
Yeah, surprise. They're still picking Bloodseeker. At least they banned Lifestealer before they do that.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of confidence in their style, right? Like they still executed okay in that game. It just felt like Lifestealer was able to run over all of their different strategies. And the Mars actually coming out from Navi. So something a little bit different, something that I know you're a big fan of. And I suppose just abusing the fact that Lifestealer is out of the equation, right? It's one of those heroes that can get right in on top of him, can deal damage, can make him not have an early game. And talk about these other heroes that are able to punish it. Aggressive ones. Juggernaut a little bit. Ricky, #1 in your mind.
Yeah. Ulsa's Chaos Knight, I think these are like a really big priority. Monkey King as well. Or just any sort of, because I always think that you just pick like one lane strong hero and you just give mid like a last pick good priority, and this Bloodseeker won't be able to actually play out the game.
5 seconds remaining.
And if this hero is not ahead, I think you're never gonna play like your game.
On Mars or on the Bloodseeker?
On the Bloodseeker.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, it feels like to me that Collapse has been playing extremely well in this Bloodseeker so far. We saw in a lot of those matchups that he was having, he was coming out on top of the CS. Yeah, it might be even, you know, against something like a Lifestealer, but if Yellow Submarine can put themselves in a position, specifically with a lot of these second phase bans coming out from them, put them in a good position where the Bloodseeker can have an even matchup or even a good one, then Collapse is one of those players to me that can really abuse that lane and come out on top in the mid game.
Yeah, I think this Mars pick coming up from Navi is
Dire
actually
team
a lot
back.
of respect shown by them because Collapsy's shown that he's able to dominate a lane if you give him that Mars. Plus, really strong with the Phoenix too, just to be able to be that front line, soak up all of that damage. Also, the synergy between the Egg and the Arena is really nice. So Navi making sure to get that block pick through, and they go with a Willow to follow up on that, which actually,
10
I'm pretty sure they
seconds
haven't
remaining.
lost on this patch with the Dark Willow. So putting a lot of faith in that, saying, look,
5 seconds
Roger, this is your
remaining.
game to carry us. Really nice synergy together with the Mars as well, just guaranteeing you're going to whack into that arena.
Another thing is like it's the same condition for yellow submarines. They have to decide what to play against this Mars and Willow,
Navi's turn
and
to
usually it's a
ban.
very strong lane. If the life stealer is banned, what else can you pick? Let's see Ricky.
Yeah,
like
I
you
mean, you've been
mentioned.
harping
Yeah.
on this, Ricky, for a long time. We've seen it as the counter to the Invoker. We'll see whether or not that
Dire
Yellow
team
Submarine are going to pick
back.
that up for your Toro. It'd be interested to see if they do want to go for that. It is one of those games where it is the final game in a best of 3, lads, so you don't want to try and go for something that you're not well versed in. I'm sure your Toro has played a lot of Ricky, but it's whether or not they're comfortable with playing it in a competitive setting.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I feel like Ricky, it's not the hardest
seconds
to
remaining.
execute, I suppose. You know, it's all about the early game. These little skirmishes
5
going back and
seconds
forth. And
remaining.
if you are harassing a fair amount, you're also not just helping out yourself and stopping the Mars from having a good early game. You're helping out Collapse on your Bloodseeker as well, right? Because you're going to have more people on low HP.
Yeah.
You just get the benefit from that.
Because like Ricky versus Mars lane, it's a bloodbath.
Navi's
Like
turn
bloodbath,
to
like how
ban.
both Pure gonna have like 40%, 30%. Yeah, but Ricky's just regen faster. That's how I like a Ricky. Mars.
Navi's turn to team.
I like because your yellow submarine has this first pick. I think they really need to get the advantage here. Otherwise, it's gonna end up like a same way as like what happened last game.
They're coming out. Okay. Well, that's their late game secured and, you know, really effective, especially if Mars is able to soak up a lot of that
10
initial
seconds
damage.
remaining.
Phoenix is a decent counter to the Spectre though, right? You just need to be concerned about
5
Spectre getting
seconds
right in on the
remaining.
back lines and dealing with you before you're able to have your big impact through your side.
And I also think like Bloodseeker is just fine against the Spectre. Like we were keep talking about that Bloodseeker needs to get treated with the like strong laner, but I think Spectre is one of the weak, like a right-clicking hero that doesn't damage much, and Bloodseeker will never be like low HP unless they plan out this kill perfectly with mid rotation or like off-lane rotation.
Plus, Blood Rite is pure damage as well, so it does get through the dispersion. So happy with that if you're Collapse here. But what do they try and pair up as that position 5? We've seen it time and time again against these
Navi's
Spectres where you pick this position 5 and it doesn't really give you all too much in the way of defending yourself. So
It's fan, huh?
all right.
Yeah.
Gonna play a little bit faster here. We saw it from Miracle. He was able to take down Ace's Spectre, so we'll see if they can emulate that here. Can Yellow Submarine? Is this good enough against the Mars Dark Willow though? That is my big question
10
here. Is that lane
seconds
strong enough in
remaining.
your eyes, QO, to make sure that General as well as Roger don't just pop off?
5
Well, it
seconds
really depends
remaining.
on like what position 5 you're pairing with, and
Enchantress is still in the pool. I'm a
yeah,
little
like if you
surprised.
pick Enchantress, something like I think they need to go for that route.
Mhm.
You just pick weak support. I think Willow and Mars just gonna punch that support, and it's eventually gonna down from the lane.
Even
And-
Navi can just pick the Ench, right? Like, good to pair together a strong support with a Spec, which isn't fantastic in the lane. Sure, the Bloodseeker is still going to get an okay amount of farm, but you secure your own late game.
I think from Navi's perspective, rather than just picking like a strong laner, maybe it's just better them to pick like one support they can roam with the team, because like you just admit that you lose this lane, because even if it's Enchantress like bringing this creep, this Bloodseeker won't get harassed as much as like, so might as well just give it up on the lane.
Okay, so
Dire
something else that
team
pairs well with the Willow, you reckon? Undying. I mean, it's
Okay.
not great at roaming Undying. You know, you want to be
Yeah.
as static as possible,
Dire
basically, in
team
that lane.
back.
The question I was going to ask you guys before we see these picks start rolling through. Oh, Viper. All right, so Yellow Submarine are like, Enigma did it, boys. We're going to do it too. They're going to run the Viper here. The question I was going to ask you guys heading into this is, would either team have liked a Warlock here? The Warlock is one of the age-old
Navi's
classics.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
turn to
team
ban.
fight.
I was thinking that a little bit. Obviously, you've got a good amount of AoE already on Navi's side, but when Kua started mentioning about roaming, I'm like, well, Warlock's probably even worse than
Yeah.
Undying at that, so...
It's like if you go Warlock Spectre, you have 0 kill threat. You're just gonna be keep healing Spectre, and hopefully he
10
does like a good
seconds
last
remaining.
hitting. And against the Bloodseeker, you really don't wanna, like, because he moves
5
fast.
seconds
Everything that moves
remaining.
fast like counters Warlock.
Okay.
So, yeah. Well, I wanna see this Viper as position 5, you know,
You want to see a 5 Viper?
against Mars.
So you just want to see him just run into that lane of Poshka and just start spitting onto full?
I really think like Viper can actually man fight the Willow 1v1 as well. Like that's the first requirement they need. And even if Viper gets aimed by this Mars and Willow, like if you make them low somehow, and I think he can just bring up this regen and items for the Sven, and they will be able to continue lane.
Okay.
Yeah, just go into something that's like you could build Greaves, for example. It means the Bloodseeker can go a bit more of an aggressive style, you know, Phase Boots, Your Scepter, Veil, and then, you know, progress in that way. And yeah, just let the Viper be the more sustainy type role, and you've also got the Phoenix on top of that. So you've got a lot of ways to enable Sven to just be on the front lines. And I agree with your 5 suggestion, just because it doesn't feel like a Mio hero, right? He needs to be roaming around, he needs to be doing a lot, and Viper is very static. He needs to stay in his lane, and he needs everyone else to converge in onto him.
I'll be surprised if Mio plays Viper, to be honest. Yeah, I think throughout like the whole tournament, he was always playing this mobile hero. He shined the most when he was playing on that hero. And with the Bloodseeker, they need like some sort of connecting heroes to actually play fast, because Sven isn't the one who can play.
What are they banning
They're
out?
going to ban the IO and the Disruptor, so it seems like Na'Vi really feel like Maposhia's hero is the one that's left here. I'm going to have to echo what you guys said. I feel like that we need to see something strong coming in from Mio here. Yeah, he might be able to dominate the lane, but Na'Vi's got the last pick overall.
I want a Storm Spirit. I want Storm Spirit to come out here from Yellow Submarine. They've got very limited stuns. If you're on point with your positioning, which Mio has shown plenty of times that he is, you're not going to get speared. You know, it's going to be very hard to lock him down, and it gives you a way to just get in onto those backlines, get attention away from this Phoenix, which is always good, and then Sven can follow in beyond.
Ags is super hot this game as well.
Pretty good, yeah.
Kunkka?
It's okay.
Kunkka?
It's a little passive again. It's not a mobile hero.
I think Iceberg plays like way too good of Kunkka. If they pick Storm, it wouldn't really matter because they won't be able to pick Kunkka anyways. But if he pick something else and then pick like there's like 70%, 80% of the heroes get countered by.
Oh,
so
sorry to say, lads.
Viper.
I'm sorry to say, lads, we will be seeing Mio on the Viper here. I mean,
it's another stun, which is nice.
They've got a lot of burst potential with the Maledict. We've seen it against Spectres before.
They do. I'm just concerned about how they're going to be starting these team fights, right? Like, is Viper just going to run his face into them and then risk dying? That's all I can really think of.
Maybe they'll just come out, win lane and play like passive a bit. Let this event like farms ascension, just block their pathway whenever they come in for the gank. But
what, and try and hit a timing at like 30 minutes before the Spectres that strong?
I think that's too late.
Too late, yeah. 20.
You have to do it like.
Well, you would have to assume that it's Iceberg's hero last. Things that can lane into a Viper. Wind Ranger is in the pool.
Yeah. She's still there. See whether or not Iceberg wants to pick it up. I mean, he could still pick Conquer if he wanted to. It's going to be a horrible matchup for him. But
yeah.
See whether or not he feels confident doing that. They're going to go with the Nature's Prophet here. Okay.
Yeah.
Same vein.
Don't mind this at all. Again, global strategy. Yeah, and that's all you need to know. I'm feeling more confident about Navi's draft with this one. Unfortunate because I really like Yellow Submarine, and I want to see them get a bit more of the spotlight, you know, being at the front of the stage, but I just think it's going to be a little too much, even with the Viper, to deal with this Spectre.
Yeah, it's same feeling for me. I think that game 2 draft, I think Navi was better. Even game 3 draft, like Navi is better. Not as worse as like a pre.
Not as game 1.
So you feel like the drafts are a little closer here for game number 3?
I think draft is a little more even. I think first game was Yellow Submarine, second game was heavily Navi favored. I think this game is like slightly Navi favored. Yep. So I'll try to go with Yellow Submarine.
I was going to say, is the power of love for Collapse here a little bit more than what the power of the draft is? What about you, Matt? Who are you going to sit with for this? You're going to recoup some losses after today, so...
I have been perfect this series, all right? I'm going to go with Na'Vi. I really want to see them buy that forward stuff, though. You can't be getting caught inside the Nether Toxin with this Spectre, making the same mistake that we saw in the first series.
All right, well, let's see if the boys of Yellow Submarine can continue their dream run here for ESL 1 Germany, or whether or not Na'Vi are going to punch their ticket into the playoffs. We're going to leave it with our casters for today. It's going to be Odie, Pixel, and Fob.
Your praises.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, game 3, the all-important decider ready to play out between the two of them, Na'Vi and Yellow Submarine. And Fog, who's starting off with the stronger hand here?
I definitely think it's a lot more even this time around compared to the last 2 drafts, so Sakio was saying. I like Na'Vi just because I think this is when they've shown their most dominance, is when they had Mars and the Willow, and they've got this combo coming in together with these two heroes. Do think that they can look to put a lot of pressure on too. I think with this like Nature's Prop in the mid lane, they can do a lot with Iceberg. I think he can be very mobile and just break Mio a little bit, break his ankles. We'll see if it does play out though, because Yellow Submarine, I do think that they've got a pretty strong draft too. They're just a little bit more greedy. I'm a little worried about the Sven.
Yeah, well, we'll see sort of what sort of game you're talking about. Because last game, it was a little bit rough from Yatoro. We did see him die, you know, sort of off on his own a couple of times during the farming phase when he was working with the Battle Fury. So, you know, maybe that's on him. Maybe that's on his team for not being able to make places that are safe enough for him to farm. We'll see if they can change that this time. And just get him into a bit of a better place a little sooner so that he is going to have some relevancy against Na'Vi's cause.
I think he should be able to get away with going to the triangle at some point. I'm just worried about the lane. I know Witch Doctor's like one of those very strong laners, but this Mars and this Willow, especially in the hands of Na'Vi, like Roger plays very aggressively with it, and so does General. They look to just constantly kill. And I feel like as a Witch Doctor, you can be punished. It's very important about your positioning on Miposhka to make sure you're not caught on the side at all.
Oh yeah.
If you get hit by two, you get like speared into a double, you get hit by two brambles, you're dead. Every single time, so.
Yeah, this top lane is definitely going to be incredibly difficult for them. I mean, and some of the other lanes as well, right? Also kind of good for Na'Vi. You know, Na'Vi obviously having the chance to pick their mid lost and they get Iceberg. The Prophet, hero that doesn't care about against the Viper too much at all, right?
Nope. I mean, I say nope, but I saw Chessie actually get in the first, I think it was the first 5 minutes or so in the game that I saw this morning, he was getting owned by Weehaw, and then he came back afterwards. But usually, for the most part, I do see the Nature's Prophet. They do very well in the matchup. You're able to last it better. You eat a lot of harassment is the only thing that happens from the Vipers. But Mio, I mean, he knows this matchup. He loses on the Nether Toxin right away. Treants can't walk up. Or push it in immediately.
Yeah, just secure himself that first wave and range creep without any chance of Iceberg denying.
Yep, it does mean that Iceberg's going to get every single last hit under the tower, though, as this Nature's Prophet here with two Treants. Shouldn't miss any of them. Yeah, nicely done. And then Iceberg should be fine in this one.
Yeah, there's no excuse for him dying here.
Yeah,
as, I'm sure he won't solo against the Viper. Then down at the bottom lane, Spectre with V-Tune with the backup of always one of flies and dying. Is this sort of a lane where the Spectre's going to be feeling pretty safe?
It's a lot of trade of regen and stuff like that, and it's about like the level 2s in particular for both sides to look for these kills. I think the Spectre should be able to farm. As long as Undying doesn't waste his Soul Rip or misplay with his mana pool or anything, I think V-Tune should be able to farm down here nicely. Because at some point, we're either going to see the Undying suicide or we're going to see the Phoenix suicide. One of these two are going to do something like that to get their mana back.
Well, we'll see. See which team carrier is going to have the safest start. And then, in terms of the tools that Yellow Submarine are going to have to kill the Spectre later on, do you feel like they've got enough? Just sort of having I mean, having the big spells right at the break from the Viper and the Maledict from the Witch Doctor can really come into play.
But even the hard stun is also a little annoying too. Even the Rupture and all that too, because Spectre does require a bit of mobility. Yeah, I think it'd be a bit tough for V-Tune.
We'll see how V-Tune wants to play as well with his own build-up. I'm going to see that Blade Mail rushed out this game. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of damage that Yellow Submarine are going to be throwing out in the team fight. They'll be turned around on them. Top lane, scared by the spear, but he's able to cut his way through the trees.
Much harder lane for Yatoro than it is on the opposing side for V-Tune. I feel like V-Tune's going to get away with, like we said, pretty much all the farm down bottom. He should be able to keep him sustained too with an Undying. I just don't feel that for Yatoro up here. I feel like this is it's just a hard lane. Range creep gets denied again. I think that's the second time I saw up top. They do have the Maledict, but it's only level 1 Maledict, but they're going to try. They're actually punching hard into General.
It's going to be some good damage. Won't be enough to kill him with the Fairy Fire. And he has got the Salve ready to pop himself back up.
Yeah, he'll be healthy. He'll be back up to full, and Yatoro is very limited. And he had to go boots early too, even on the Sven for himself.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty useful against the just juking around the brambles and trying to dodge these spears.
It's very nice versus the Orb of Venom too, at least too, of the Mars. The Orb of Venom constant poke harassment is something I've seen these Marses doing a lot lately.
Blood right. Is there on always want to fly? Puts the Fairy Fires into the trees. Collapse just trying to find him and they'll get it. First blood goes for Yellow Submarine.
Very nice. Not slowing down the Spectre's farm too much, but at least getting themselves that type of kill. And they will look to actually farm it with a big stack here too. So bad. With the Blood right as well. They tried to pull the experience away from V2, and you saw how he moved it upwards. They will get all that XP though on the Spectre too. But nice maximizing coming out from Yellow Submarine down here. This is a pretty nice lane.
See right middle.
Yeah,
he's farming a tree.
Yeah,
Top CS right now. The last hits, so Iceberg, as safe as he is in terms of farming and just not dying, not able to stop Neo from getting away with a total free farm here to start the game.
No, definitely not. But he's gonna get 6 at a very good timing on this Nature's Prophet. So I feel like those side lanes, we're gonna look to those to get kicked as bottom again, trying to come in onto the Undying.
The time of the 2-man decay. So bad these fire spirits on V-Tune. Stopping him from being able to truly commit on the Phoenix.
Oh, the courier is so bad. It dies to range creep. Amaterasu, the most beautiful courier ever, goes down.
Collapse, we'll see. Yeah, he's got the urn done now in this lane, so now always one of Fly's got to be that. A little bit more careful about losing his life down here.
Oh, Iceberg actually TP's in for the bounty runes. Not quite level 6 yet. He might find. Oh, he doesn't see the courier. That would have been pretty nice. Speaking of courier, Mio is rushing Meteor Hammer.
Wait, what?
Naked Meteor Hammer Viper.
All right. I mean,
I think I know why.
Right, go on, get the reasoning. Yeah.
My idea of it is,
yeah,
he's expecting this Nature's Prophet to TP gank all over, right? So he's just gonna Meteor Hammer the mid tower.
Right? It doesn't sound bad. Doesn't sound bad. I mean, Viper Strikes are pretty heavy slow as well. I imagine if you Viper Strike someone, it gives you the time to lay down a meteor on them, maybe?
Maybe. I think it's mostly just to force in the lane to just force these towers down. Because he's going to be the one actually hitting towers.
Well, that's the thing.
Right?
Yeah, they don't really have a hero that's going to be hitting towers, do they?
Yeah. I think I'm alright with this. It sounds interesting to me. He's also not playing versus the craziest amount of stuns. Yeah. Right? It's like the Fear from the Willow, the Cursed Crown, and a Spear. So a lot of times the channeling, he will be able to get it off.
We'll see. Yeah, and another kill on Always Want to Fly. So then Collapse diving him down, and that will give you the first few urn charges for Collapse to play with. So once he hits 6, it's going to be pretty scary with the Rupture. Offensive urn's good to go. So the lane continues to be a bit of a struggle for V-Tune. I mean, I guess both him and Yatoro being slowed down to the same pace, really.
Yeah, they're both really struggling in their lanes. Like, Yatoro, look at his item build. It's like the least greedy build ever. 2 points in stun, phase moved into Wraith Band. He's playing about, like, just trying to survive the lane, get himself some armor. If he's coming in, big wrath.
Big Nature's Wrath as well. Excellently placed there, bouncing around, even able to cancel the south of Miposhka. He's got to be cautious, and with this movement, Iceberg, he's in on the tower. He's going to start pushing. Mio, he's going to come over with the TP. To try and hold this. Mio's presence will put a stop to the push. Iceberg immediately TP's back towards mid, and he knows with the Viper coming up here, he's not going to be able to get back mid anytime soon. Iceberg can clean up the mid lane.
We'll send the Sven mid, though. Not the worst situation for Yatoro. He's got the points and cleave to at least push the lane out, and he's got access to his jungle right next to him. He doesn't want to be top anymore anyway. So not too bad.
No, this Willow Mars lane, very scary right now.
Yeah, throwing in that Wrath. We knew it was going to come at some point.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Bottom again. Collapse. He's got the 6 now.
He's going to get ruptured and out to the urn. He goes there. Second charge thrown over by Collapse. Secures the kill. Always Want to Fly goes down, and Iceberg is not able to make anything happen with this. They back away. Base is given to Yatoro.
Yeah. Very nice for Collapse. He's going to get off to a very good start, a very fast Veil for his team. Very nice Veil game. Phoenix, Viper, Witch Doctor. I think every game is a good Veil game pretty much, but this looks like a very good one.
Science Founder as well for
Dire's
the
top
Yellow
tower
Submarine
is under
talent
attack.
and the Arcane Ring out. Mio, he'll hold on to that Arcane Ring.
Those are nice items picked up, and yeah, Mio pretty much hasn't meteor hammer finished up.
He's got it. So now, what do you... Oh, yep, the arena's down. Managed to trap Imposter. General walks up for the easy kill and taking the Witch Doctor out means to this tower, he's probably going to be taken down as well by Navi.
Dire's
General
top
pushing
tower
forward.
is under attack.
Yeah, here we go. So Mio... He's got the hammer. What is the plan now? You start looking at the towers, you start eyeing up the lanes, you stay out of the
Dire's
jungle.
top tower
Looking
has
for
fallen.
what's he going to be able to do?
All right, we'll see. Maybe he can land a meteor hammer with a Sven stun or something wacky. But looks like he's gonna use it on mid. Here we go.
Yep.
Counter push towards the Nature Prophet.
Pop the glyph here for the first usage.
Yatoro's even playing with his team right now in this
Radiant's
Sven. He's looking
He's in.
stun Iceberg.
Yeah, I think Iceberg was a little surprised to see the Sven there. I think it's a little surprised to see him.
Look, Max let 3 points in the stun. He's looking to get involved with his team. Pretty surprising versus Undying. As Mio on the front line.
They're going to jump him more straight away off to Mio. Mio's just caught on the high ground, tries to turn, but he's already burst out. Again, we're seeing some big old Nature's Wraths coming in at this stage from Iceberg, causing complete destruction in these fights. The Submarine just not ready to deal with this sort of this global turn up and go that Na'Vi have between the Spectrum and the Nature's Prophet.
He's getting stalked. He's getting TP cancelled by Iceberg. He's just pushing him away. He actually has to run away from the jungle because of those TPs.
I saw find something in Na'Vi as well around this 10-minute rune.
The seeds of hope is
Going to be able to be grabbed by Collapse. He steps in to pick it up.
Look at the
Because whilst
bounties.
this is happening, this is all 4 bounties by looks of it. Right, going to Na'Vi, yep. Iceberg, he's able to get over there. Pick him up.
Oh, they're ganking him though. Yatoro TPing in with the God Strike level 3 stun. They'll find us.
Let's do it. The blood right down. No chance for Iceberg to get out of there, but he got on the 4 bounty rings. At the same time, over towards mid. Mio's dying.
Uh-oh.
Mio falls. So, I mean, sure, you lost to Iceberg, but you killed their mid, and you got 4 bounty rings. So now they're going to be happy.
And it's a Viper that you're killing. This hero, we talk about this ad nauseum. If you start dying as a Viper, you probably are going to chain start dying over and over again.
Especially with this kind of build, right? This is you're sort of pigeonholing yourself into a very specific utilization of what you could do.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower
it's not really going to change. You know, you go for this Meteor Hammer into bots build on the Viper as a mid lane. Bottom lane.
And just
Next is Ram. Again, Iceberg. Sit up onto Yatoro. He's trying to run. He'll turn with a stun. He's hiding in the trees, but Na'Vi's found him. Na'Vi 2k up. Making big moves, and again, as I said after the last game, Yatoro, him dying early is just such a huge hit to Yellow Submarine. Last game he was behind on the PA. This game, he's already died twice as the Sven. They can't let Yatoro die, especially when you have your mid Viper doing this sort of build, right? It's all on the Sven. Sven is your only carry this game.
And Sven is already behind Spectre, which is something that if you already have that happening in a game, you feel super bad. Like the nature of just Sven in general has to be playing above. He has to be playing at a net worth advantage over Spectre. Yeah, this build actually might be biting me on the ass a bit hard here, because I felt like this is a game too where he really, with his team in particular too, like the mech and the Reeves and Pipe fit so well with this team to fight as 4 while the Sven is farming. But
yeah, especially with the Sven going for the stun and getting as active as he was trying to. You know, Yatoro, he wanted to fight with the team, but not these early items to back up a carry getting that active.
No, yeah, this might really hurt them, as all 3 cores of Na'Vi farming great. And as we always say, right? Spectre farming first 12 minutes, he's quite ahead. Pretty good recipe for success. Even though he's playing versus the Viper, this Viper has already been significantly shut down. Now finally has boots, 12 minutes. He just got his boots.
It's just sort of slow stuff across the board. Yatoro, he's got the Midas, but 12 minutes, you know, not a crazy timing.
But Mio again, the Blink's already ready for General.
Oh, he's in so much trouble. Arena's down, and Mio is out. And let's find another so bad. He's been caught. Iceberg with the Orchid good to go. It is, I mean, after game 2 and now into game 3, well, what happened to the Yellow Submarine of game 1? As this game, it doesn't look great. Some of their picks, their builds, and now their play, it's getting rolled over by Na'Vi.
It's looking real weird, I'll be honest. Even with like the 3-point stun Sven, it's something you just don't see teams really do. Especially when he has like a Viper, when it's just like all about space making for Sven. He's not taking that space and just being able to go farm with it. It's gone for this weird build. He has the Midas at least, like we said.
But
he's
it's
gonna build a
slow,
pickup farm, but it's slow and
I mean, would you not?
it
Would
feels
you
all
not?
bad for Yellow Submarine, really.
I mean, is that the way going like this, where you're falling behind the Spectre, you go for the Midas to try and keep up out farm, or would you have liked to sort of see him maybe go straight for the Echo and actually get fighting items sooner than trying to play the long game against the Spectre?
Oh god, I'm not too sure. I think he was in such a bad spot already, and he's probably like, I need levels, I need farm. I think he was just desperate for something. He didn't know what to get. I think the Midas is trying to give him those levels because he'd just be too slow otherwise. Yeah.
Right, how's Mio doing? He got his brown boot stunt.
Yeah, he did.
But the dream of the bots is dead.
Radiant
BKB is going to be queued up.
under attack.
General. They will be able to burst him. He will die.
Nice. Bit of the Viper Strike coming into play.
And now the Meteor Hammer on the
There we
tower.
go.
We're seeing it.
Meteor Hammer action from Mio.
Radiant's middle tower has
Okay.
fallen.
Still a 2k gold lead for Na'Vi, and this is, like we keep saying, if Sven is behind a Spectre in farm, it feels real bad in the game because, you know, Sven has a cleave. He always wants to be playing ahead. And it's by a decent margin, too. Well, Submarine looking to still play on this aggressive portion here, though. Still trying to make the space for the Sven to get that farm up. Because he still does have these Ancients continuing to be stacked up for himself. Gonna fly, trying to step out. He has this ward vision here for a moment.
The seeds of fortune.
They will still be able to get themselves 2 bounties. Keep themselves farming up. You know, hemorrhage, or stop the hemorrhage. That was happening before, but General with his blink.
Five kills.
Has been
Poshka.
killed.
And he's going to go down as well as his courier. The Generals have a setup for the two of them onto the side.
And
They're
so
going to have the combo. He's going to pop the supernova, but they'll have no trouble taking that down as the egg will fall.
You're just not.
Na'Vi just finding kills wherever they roll. And Yellow Submarine just still desperately trying to scramble for space for Yatoro to farm.
another one for General.
They actually come out with the hot. They might even have a chance onto Mio as well. They want to jump for it. Pichu's going to stay on top of them. He's committed for this one. I mean, TPs are coming in. Silence with them, but Poshka will throw out a cast. They're going to dive in a little further, but it's a little too deep now past the teacher, especially with the respawn of Soba coming in. They'll turn over towards Roger. Roger will die to death ward. See if Yellowstone can get anything more from this. Somewhere out onto Pichu and always want to fly, but they don't quite have the lockdown. Kura out there.
Not too bad. Get themselves at least some to kill. I feel like anytime that they can get any trades, it's good. Yatoro, he's getting the space to farm. He's now past that spec there finally. Still wants to be way more ahead, of course, but you know, any type of small gain, that's what they're looking for here at this deficit. And how many Atoses are they building too? 1, 2, is that a 3 Atos? Okay, they're building 2 Atoses. They do want to keep him inside of that Nether Toxin, of course, versus that Spectre. But they're going to build itemized versus, especially 1 Atos. They're probably going to get like a 4-step, and he's going to have Manta at some point, so. General, ult's back available, has a haste in the rune. They have a good ward. It's watching Yatoro as well. Might be the option they go for, these 3 down bottom. This could be big for Na'Vi.
Some jump General can get. He's been getting some good ones so far. He's going to take out the courier and look to start things off over the side. Gets the arena down. But you manage to fully focus him. He's able to find the spear onto the Viper. General will fall. Now collapsed over towards Roger. This is going to be a fight for Yellow Submarine to write home about. As they'll take down both General and Roger. As General,
the vision.
yeah, just a little too deep with the jump and not enough backup there that time. They didn't want to follow him up on that one, Na'Vi.
Dire's top
A
tower
little bit
is
far.
under
No
attack.
haunt available either yet, so they were a little reluctant in the way that the fight kicks off too. He doesn't actually get the spear before his, you know, as the ult goes out, Yatoro gets the stun off, and from there it's turned. Doing a decent job of fixing the mistakes from earlier.
They are. I mean, Yatoro, he's been able to get away without getting caught out for quite some time now.
Yeah.
Damp on it. Poshka. It will be a freebie. Of course, these supports are what matters in the big picture. It's all about the cause and the other submarine that Yatoro continues to get the space. Na'Vi, B-Tune does so for them. And, so, and they're pretty even. You're both cores standing there towards the top.
Yotaro gets himself, he's been double stacking for himself around the Ancients, stacking his own Ancient and the hard camp multiple times.
It up big time. I mean, Midas was there at 12 minutes. Now, what, 6 minutes later, he has Echo and pretty much a BKB. I believe the Ogre Club was on the courier, so it'll be 19 minutes. So within 6 minutes, he's picked up an Echo Saber and a BKB without any issue.
I mean, Mio also almost has BKB done too. Yeah. So those, those general initiations that were really strong for a good, like, 6 or 7 minutes, it feels like, might be stopped. If they can get the BKB up before the spear attaches them to the wall, they can look to turn the fight.
Yeah,
so they can drop down everything.
And plus, I mean, any of the cores, having this Witch Doctor, as long as Posh is able to get Maledict down, the General Iceberg or V-Tune, those heroes will absolutely die to a few good hits from Yotaro with the God Strength. They'll die over time, and in a way that Na'Vi just aren't going to have the sustain to help against. I mean, I guess the Sorip will be there, but that's all right. It's just going to be the one healer on target.
And they're going to have double BKB at the same time here. This is pretty huge for Yellow Submarine. Their BKBs actually counteract pretty much everything from Na'Vi. They still have to worry about like the Tombstone and stuff like that, but they have a lot of things to deal with it. Collapse, he won't be so lucky.
Yeah, trying to juke out any follow-up. As many heroes, there are no chance for him.
Never killed anyone.
Throws down the Rupture. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's dead for 30 seconds of the 60 or so,
Oh, they're camping around this area here for the bounty. There's no ult on the Mars. There is a Spectre ult, though. Spectre does not have Manta available.
They're going for the easy one first. Try for the Undying. BKB's out as well. Yotaro commits to the God Strike. Takes out one. He's now going to turn over towards Iceberg. Iceberg, he has to TP out of this. Iceberg is going to get away. He will. He'll live. Supernova down. V-Tune trying with the TP out. V-Tune makes it out of there. He'll live with the TP back to base. Certainly seeing your Yellow Submarine showing up, and Na'Vi having to be very careful about how they fight around. They're starting to really feel the power of Yotaro and these quick BKBs, as Na'Vi not quite happy to fight into Yellow Submarine right now, despite the gold lead that they do have.
Yeah, I think he disassembled for the BKB, right? Yeah, he disassembled his Echo for the BKB right before the fight. Yeah. I was wondering, I was like, wait, what? But yeah, tough fight when Na'Vi runs into all those BKBs they see. A little bit of a difficult spot. Even though Collapse was still dead, they can't just like full commit onto there. Nice. And that is Haunt used. That is the big thing. Sure, it was an egg used on the other side, but the Yellow Submarine is starting to find themselves some decent footing in this game. 12 on the Phoenix too, so bad. So these eggs, very likely to pop, as we see in a lot of these situations. It does seem a little hard for Na'Vi to just full commit onto it. Yeah, pretty good item time. His Echo Saber now already completed, and he's queued up the Ags. So he has, yeah, the BKB and the Ags are going to be very strong for him. He pretty much doesn't have to worry about the Mars at all on that point. He's just charged through the wall, or just BKB walk through it and focus fire very nicely onto a Spectre or onto a Nature's Prophet that he has good matchups. And there's smoke.
Yeah, 20 seconds. He's not got God Strength quite yet. About 15 seconds until it's up. I'm going to find always want to fly. Easy kill. Actually going to drop down the Tombstone, so that'll be easy farming for them, or maybe not. Na'Vi's still trying to fight this. So it's into the BKBs of Yellow Submarine. This is not an easy fight for Na'Vi to try and take. They've got to get out. Iceberg will. He will get away. As Yotaro, I mean, did he put that God Strength as soon as it came back? He did. Okay, so he didn't have it any sooner.
Yeah.
Only just came back up.
He was really mad. It was a split second from him getting that kill. He has his Midas up, but he's like, I kind of want to rush because my God Strength's going, it feels. But maybe they can catch Na'Vi off guard.
Na'Vi's eyeing this up.
He's got Midas. He doesn't want to be around here. Yotaro. He's like, pull me a camp. Thank you. He didn't use it.
He didn't use it. Oh, it was on the big crate.
Oh, that's a big one.
There we go. There we go. Efficiency.
Efficiency indeed. Keeping it close though. Na'Vi still keeping themselves with this 3K constant gold lead, but we're seeing these fights. It's not easy for Na'Vi just to commit into these BKBs.
Final pick off.
They will.
So bad, left behind on the mid lane. I guess the thing is though, these fights are kind of coming relatively frequently early on, so the BKB charges are being burnt through. Kind of early, with a couple in already, just 22 minutes in.
And God Strength was used to that. It has a pretty long cooldown. Na'Vi, they've got the Manta on the Spectre. They're committing to the Roche. They're going to get it. That's huge.
Yeah, no chance for Yellow Submarine to do anything about this. So set ults down, and Phoenix gone. It's a free Aegis for Navi and for V-Tune. He's got he's also pretty much got the diffuser blade coming out. So this Spectre, very scary. The BKB is ever more important for Yellow Submarine. Just the usage of them has to be perfect.
General.
And if he has many ways of getting out of this one, he does not. Straight out and down from the Yules he's brought with that Storm Hammer. General goes out.
They smoke though, like as soon as the Aegis was taken by Navi, Yellow Submarine are the ones to smoke and look for the fight, because like we were saying before, they have God Strength and Egg available. They're still feeling strong, even fighting into that Aegis. Sven is at a pretty strong point. Same thing with that Viper. Mio. Be careful around here.
Dancing around this point.
No initiation though. That's the when General's dead, they feel a lot safer to make these type of aggressive moves, because he's the only actual big initiator in the entire game, it feels like, until Sven has Zags. Here's approaching.
Warriors of the wood.
Iceberg shows himself a moment bottom. Wants to back away. As this is a long TP, Yatoro. He'll get away, but collapse.
Collapse is going to hold his ground. Iceberg committed with the BKB, trying to beat down Collapse, and with the help of the Haunt, they do. V-Tune takes him out. That's the Yellow Submarine on the retreat. Sobat's going to pop the egg, but they're going to look to take it out. Can they do so in time? They can. V-Tune's able to put it to an end. Yule Scepter to cancel the TP out from Eposhka. As Navi, they'll clean up a third.
It'll take more
If General doesn't use that Witch Doctor there, that egg pops, because the Witch Doctor was mid-cask animation to stun them under it, but he ends up using them beforehand. Very nicely done as they set up for... Yeah, and even like the way they set up that gang too, the Sprout on the high ground blocking the path, even if he cuts the tree, there's still too much Sprout because of the way he placed it. Very nicely done by Navi. Finally get their lead up a bit past that 3,000.
Yeah, and V-Tune is just 4-0-4. This is a game where the Spectre's not dying. Sven still keeping up, and in fact taking the top spot in farm. But a lot of weight on Yatoro. As I mean, the levels as well. You know, Yatoro is gearing up at a very impressive rate. And
he's got the natural build-up to go for the Silver Edge eventually.
So they're trying to poke out the BKB from Yatoro. He's going to feel forced to do so. He's getting low, but he's able to run off to the side. Still, Yellow Submarine trying to fight this as Collapse. He sets forward with Mio, but General's able to lay down the arena. Mio gets speared. Collapse and Mio, they went straight into this one. Mio's able to put the BKB. He's going to go for the TPI. He'll make it away. But Yatoro goes down to Iceberg, being able to catch him on the way out. Poshka falls, so does Collapse. And now Sobat, he's probably going to be in trouble as well. As V-Tune slows him down with a defusal. Another team fight where Navi are just cleaning up with the Spectre involved, and that is a huge worry for Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, Iceberg actually shows up and gets like he gets the solo XP and gold on the Sven kill, so he gets bumped up to 19 off of that one.
How did he get that? Because he's still at the BKB. Why did
he just stayed with like 200 HP, just got hit twice. It was two auto attacks. Yeah.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, there we go. 20 to 12, 10k lead for Navi. I mean,
they're seeing just the natural form of initiation, just breaking Yellow Submarine. Just having General always be able to just jump in and spear a target. He kicks off the fight, and then V-Tune can pick and choose who he wants to go for. It's just feeling too easy for Navi to just execute the fights versus Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, it's just, it feels like Yatoro kind of has to do everything.
Yeah.
As you know, Mio's still pretty farmed. I mean, after those last few fights, he's starting to fall behind, actually compared to the other three cores. But just hasn't really been able to do too much with this build. Even with the hammer, we felt maybe the idea was to take these towers. They've only taken 2 tier 1s this game. The opportunity has not really been there for Mio to do too much as a Viper with this build.
No, definitely not. He just gets focused so hard on the front. There's too many things he has to deal with now, because he has to BKB the spear, but then these zombies are hitting him. Then there's so much right clicks, and then the illusion. Whenever Spectre pops his Manta, these illusions just shred him. They kill him so fast, even through the BKB. Just nothing you can even do to itemize versus it. Yeah, it really does feel like Yatoro versus the world as Still very farmed, but it's so tough for the rest of the players to do too much. And,
trying the general. The Haunts out. Vincere, he's in over towards Mio. On the high ground, they've got the Supernova. Big Nature's Wrath comes crashing in from the side in the fear as well. Mio, he's pushed back. Iceberg, he's got the damage. The Supernova stun will stun Iceberg for now. They're turning over the Vincere, and they will be able to get him. The Spectre goes down, but they've lost 2 already, Na'Vi. Yellow Submarine, they're going to lose more. A third down. Utoro is in the arena, pops the BKB in the God Strength, but General's out with the blink. Utoro, he can't find a target to go to. He's running around, he can't find anyone to look towards. Over to the side, Collapse is going down. Utoro, he's bailing. He's getting out of here, as he wasn't able to do anything with that ult, and they're going to look to hunt him. He's trying to farm, but Iceberg, he's able to close in. TP's over. Silence is down. He's trying to run away with the spider legs. Can he escape this? He can't. The Sprout's out. Double buybacks are coming into play. They have to keep Utoro alive, as his BKB still unavailable for 40. Iceberg TP's out underneath their noses. He won't get out of it, though. They are able to put a stop to Iceberg's escape. They needed to. I mean, they expended 2 buybacks for that to keep Utoro safe. So, but it does give them something. They do kill Iceberg, and of course they were able to take down the Spectre in that fight around the river. But overall, still big expenditures from Yellow Submarine to do so.
Yeah, I mean, so bad alone, actually. He solo killed the Spectre in that fight. A full Sunray, just blasting him. Nobody stopped it. The Spectre just melted to it. That's the only reason that any of this comes out okay for Yellow Submarine. Na'Vi were hitting real hard there.
Fine Roger here too. Always out. Anything to cancel this? No. Is away.
I actually could not believe that. I couldn't believe when I saw how fast So Bad was burning down the Spectre, burning down V-Tune. Just a full HP burn, even though the blade mail and everything, he just cooked him.
And they're playing aggressive straight out on the map of Yellow Submarine, despite having those 2 buyback shoots. They're instantly onto the tier 2 bottom. Iceberg back up in 15 seconds, about a similar time to when the Haunt's going to be online once more. So Na'Vi will be prepared to fight here.
Roger's set up here in the tree line to his spider legs. He's got a terrorize available.
See what he can do. Bit of a poke first. Trying to get maybe out an early BKB usage from Utoro. Beards out. Roger, he's going in straight onto the Sven. Utoro's so low, he's going to do. Roger just takes out the Sven. He's done it. Mio tries with the BKB TPO. He's not making it away. It's a triple kill for Iceberg. Collapse is going for the TP. Is the damage there for Vincere? It's not. Collapse will live, but So Bad will not. Caught out by General and Roger. I mean, just stealing the show there with that opening, as he just basically solos the Sven in front of the whole team of Yellow Submarine.
He saw So Bad solo kill V-Tune with the Sunray, and he's like, all right, I'm going to match that. I'm going to go kill your Sven, and he does. Perfect fear, perfect chain stun. Done by Roger. Nicely set up from the tree.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, it's...
Dyer's
What did he go down? Look at Roger. He's just into the base.
He is killing himself.
What? He's going for Collapse. He found him with the root. I mean, he's got the kill.
Oh, you thought you were winning.
Roger, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he's having some fun right now on his Willow. As, I mean, it's 20k up there into the base now with this move, and I don't see Yellow Submarine recovering in this game.
No. They fought, they tried, but at the end of the day, things went too disastrous in this early game. This Viper, Mio, the meter hammer definitely did not pay off for him.
No, this was not a build I think many will be replicating in their pubs.
Or maybe they will.
Or maybe they will. Actually, they probably will. But it's,
I saw someone do it.
Maybe it will work out sometimes. Maybe it works out, but here, didn't really feel it. Didn't really feel it.
No, Na'Vi really turning up here. After that, after a very concerning first game to show up nice draft, some nice play, and it looks like a different team than the first game that I casted today.
I mean, honestly, after game 1, I think the viewers as well, they'll be like, Na'Vi, LOL, KEKW, whatever the kids are typing nowadays. And then it's game 2 and game 3. It's just been... Yeah, it's just been brilliant from Na'Vi. You're seeing some of these plays coming out from them in Game 3, and it's just say it, that it doesn't look like anything. You know, it didn't look like they were capable of any of this after what they showed us in Game 1. But they are. Yeah, Game 2 and Game 3, Na'Vi looking very hot. And against the team, you know, Yellow Submarine, as we were talking up at the start, this CIS lineup has had some really good showings at the tournament so far, but this game, Na'Vi just crushing them in these 2 games.
Yeah, the hunt's out. It's an arcade hunt, so why not get all the information while they're rushing?
Oh, look, Rogers forced me to pop an early BKB. They've used the Supernova, but there's no one around. Navi's able to step out to the side, stunning himself there on the low Sovietoro. Now the BKB comes out, trying to kill the Spectre. Pichu getting low. They are able to take him out the once. Over to the side, Yatoro. He looks towards Roger, but he's back into the Shadow Realm. They've killed off the Viper. Yatoro goes down. They're going to call it. This game is definitely over. There's no coming back against Navi's lineup right now, as that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Navi take game 3. Now the series is theirs, 2-1 against Yellow Submarine. And yeah, if they're able to pull out more of sort of the game 2, game 3 showings,